Hey, happy Codemas! Let's take a look at another fantastic coding case example. Hey everyone, so today's case is going to be a simple IND or incision and drainage of a buttock abscess. So the principal diagnosis, buttock abscess, procedure, IND of the abscess. Now you do have to be careful with some of these abscesses because sometimes they might use the terminology incorrectly, and there is different code for a buttock abscess versus a pilonidal cyst, which is like a cyst that forms up at the top crease of the buttocks, in between the buttocks at the crease, and those can code quite differently than just an abscess. So let's check this and see where this is in case maybe they didn't designate it correctly. Description of the procedure: under general anesthesia, skin was prepped and draped in usual fashion. 2 incisions were made along the right buttock. Okay, so this is a right buttock. So that tells us it was on one side. This wasn't in the middle at the crease where it might have been a pilonidal cyst. So this is definitely just an abscess. Right buttock abscess, approximately 5 millimeters in diameter. Purulent material was drained and irrigated with copious amounts of saline flush. A Penrose drain was placed. Penrose drain was ultimately sutured, forming a circular drain. Now that's something that does come into play quite a bit, and I'll explain to you why in a second after I finish reading this, but the drain when it comes to INDs is significant. The patient's drain will be kept in place for a period of 1 week and to be taken as an outpatient basis. Anesthesia, general endotracheal anesthesia, estimated blood loss 5 milliliters, IV fluids 100 milliliters, tissue collected, purulent material from buttock abscess sent to usual cultures and chemistries, culture and sensitivity gram stain. A single Penrose drain was placed and left in the patient. Dr. X, attending surgeon, was present throughout the entire procedure. So here's our pilonidal cyst codes, simple and complicated. And this wasn't a pilonidal cyst, it was just a abscess that was on the buttocks, on one particular buttocks. So we're not going to use our IND of pilonidal cysts, but we do have here the incision and drainage of an abscess, or it could be carbuncle, suppurative hidradenitis, cutaneous and subcutaneous abscess, cyst, furuncle, or paronychia, simple or single. If you're wondering what a paronychia is, that's like one of those infected hangnails that you can get on your finger. If you've ever had one of those, they're not comfortable. But both of these, you can see they kind of designate the simple versus the complicated, and this one is actually for INDs, complicated or multiple. So they don't really provide a great definition right here about what's the difference between a simple or single and a multiple or complicated. So this is one of the cases where you can find out the difference if you read the lay descriptions. If you have maybe a coder's desk reference where they have all those lay descriptions and information, or if you have access to an encoder product like a Codify where it will give you the lay descriptions. But essentially, the difference between the simple and the complicated is that complicated would require either extensive packing, it may require a drain placement, or potentially a more complicated wound closure. And in this case, we have a drain. We have this Penrose drain that we placed. That patient has to keep that in for a while. It was left in the patient. So in that case, we're going to be looking at that complicated, we don't want to get the pilonidal cyst by accident. We're looking at that complicated code. So this is a 10061. 10061, and then we need our diagnosis, buttock abscess. So we have abscess buttock LO2.31. Let's verify that in our tabular. So here we go, LO2.31, cutaneous abscess of the buttocks, gluteal region, and then it says here, careful there, it says there's an excludes ones for that pilonidal cyst. So again, just be careful that you're not accidentally assigning these for pilonidal cysts, because those are different designations both in CPT and ICD-10, but it looks like this is good. We don't need any additional character extensions, just the LO2.31. Be very careful about the simple versus complicated, because when you can code for these complicated, the average for like a non-facility location is about $124.15. The The complicated code is about $215.45, so that means you could have quite a different reimbursement if you code for the simple or the complicated and code that incorrectly. So you definitely want to get familiar with what constitutes the complicated so you know that you get that extra money when you're entitled to it because you already did the work. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will get alerts when I post new episodes. I will see you in the next episode, and until then, just keep on coding on.